Hi everyone, welcome to the Piano Keys. I'm so glad that you're here. In this video, I'll show you how to play Chopin's Prelude in E minor. And I'll show you the left hand and the right hand. We put the hands together. And then I also tell you what I'm doing with the pedaling. If you need help with pedaling, check out my pedaling tutorial. That will really help you to understand what I'm doing in this tutorial. Remember also to work on your technique. It's fun to play songs in pieces, but it's really fun to play them when you can actually do what you need to do. So working on technique exercises actually makes everything you play better and easy and feels easier. Maybe not easier, but it feels easier. So I have 2 tutorials on playing fast, one on stretching out your hands, and one on trills at the time of this filming. You should do them all, just a little bit every day, because that all contributes toward how your fingers and your hands and your brain and your eyes, everything interacts with one another. So even if you have limited time, I strongly suggest that you devote some of it to working on technique. Chopin wrote a lot of really beautiful pieces. Unfortunately, for most people who are learning piano off YouTube, they're really virtuoso pieces, like really hard to play and need lots of study with a teacher and years of buildup of technique and musicianship. So I can't show you, the fantasy impromptu. It's impossible. Don't ask. I mean, you can ask if you want, but I can't show it to you. You need to study that with a teacher. But fortunately, this particular piece is technically pretty easy if you work for it, okay? So you have to practice anyway. If you like my videos, please click the thumbs up and subscribe. That will help other people find me too through the YouTube analytics. Find me on Instagram, the Piano Keys TPK, on Facebook, the Piano Keys, and my website is thepianokeys.com. If you're ready to learn the Chopin E minor Prelude, keep watching. Remember that the fingering I'm using just happens to be what I did in the performance video. It's not the best fingering, it's not the only fingering, and it's not even necessarily the fingering that you should use, but it's a place to start. So try this fingering. If you find something that is better for you, go for it. The left hand is actually pretty easy because there's a lot of repetition here. We start out with a triad. A triad, and almost all of these are going to be triads. A triad is a chord that has 3 notes. Tri meaning 3, like tricycle has 3 wheels, triangle has 3 angles, tricycle, triangle, triad. So 3 notes. G, 5th finger, B, 3rd finger, and E, 1st finger. So we're going to play those 3 notes at the same time. Where the challenge comes in is trying to get all those notes to sound at the same time. So we don't want this sort of sound, right? Or nothing like that. And as you can see, as you know, your fingers are different lengths. So what tends to happen is the longer finger tends to go down first. So you kind of have to accommodate for it. I kind of lean my hand toward my shorter fingers, but it's a moving target. You just have to listen to the sound you're getting. Every piano reacts differently to how you play. So, that's a goal that is always something that we're striving for, is to get the chords to sound all as like one thing as opposed to a bunch of different notes. So here's a chord sounding all at the same time. Here's it's not. Okay? So if you can't get it right away, don't worry. It's all right. I don't get it every time either, and I've been playing a while. And so it's just something to think about as you're playing. So we're going to play that chord, that triad, 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's a hint for you. I tend to have better control over the keys if I'm repeating a chord especially. What I do is I touch all the keys and I lower the weight of my arm. Then I lift the weight of my arm and I still keep the keys in contact with my fingers, or my fingers in contact with the keys. So all I'm doing is moving the weight of my arm up and down and keeping my wrist relaxed. So it's basically like lowering and lifting a lever and not letting go of the keys, okay? Next, you keep your thumb where it is, move your third finger down to A and your fifth finger down to F sharp, and we play that triad 4 times. So you could hear there, that didn't sound all at the same time. That was better. Next, only one note changes. The thumb goes down to D sharp. The other 2 guys stay where they are 4 times in a row. Then you keep the top 2 notes the same. You take your fifth finger down to F natural, and you play that 4 times. Always keeping in touch with the keys. From here, you keep the bottom 2 notes the same and take your thumb down to D natural, and you only play this triad twice. Then you take the third finger down to G sharp, keep the other 2 notes where they are, and play this triad twice. So we're kind of creeping downward 1 note at a time. Next triad, you keep the top 2 notes where they are, move the fifth finger down to E, and we'll play this triad 4 times. Then you keep the bottom and the top the same, take the middle note, third finger down to G natural, play it twice. Then keep the bottom 2 notes the same, take the top note, which is D, thumb, move it down to C sharp, and you play this triad twice. So let's play this much from the very beginning, starting with the G, B, and E 8 times. Here we go. Then just move the fifth finger and the third finger 4 times. Then move only the thumb 4 times. Then move only the fifth finger 4 times. Then move only the thumb twice. Move the third finger only twice. Move the fifth finger only 4 times. Then move the third finger only twice. And then move the first finger twice. Now, moving on. If you're not ready to move on, don't worry about it. You pause here and repeat whatever you need to repeat. Those of you who are ready, or after you've repeated as many times as you need, let's keep going. So from here, only the thumb moves down to C. The other 2 fingers stay where they are, and we play this triad 4 times. Then the third finger moves down to F sharp. The other 2 stay the same. We play this one 8 times. Then, the top 2 notes stay the same, but I'm going to switch out that third finger with the second finger and put the fourth finger on D sharp. So it's D sharp, F sharp, C, 4, 2, 1. So far, we've only used 1, 3, and 5, so now I'm doing a different fingering. Why? I don't know. It just felt good when I was playing it this way. If you don't like it, don't use it. For me, it's actually really good fingering. It helps me to balance my fingers. If I do this way, I don't know, it doesn't feel as good. I can do it, like 5, 3, and 1, but this feels better. So we're going to play this triad 4 times. Then keep the top 2 notes where they are, and then you're going to play fifth finger on D. So D, F sharp, and C, 5, 2, 1. 8 times. Then the bottom and the top notes stay the same. The middle note, third finger, takes over on F natural, and we play this triad 4 times. So we're going to stop here for part 1. Let's go back to the E, the G, and the C. 5, 3, 1. Here we go. 4 times. Then third finger moves down 4 times. I'm sorry, 8 times. 2 times 4. Then we add that fourth finger now, 4 times. And then D ends up on the bottom 8 times. So let's do it from the beginning of section 1. 5, 3, 1, G, B, E. Ready, go. 8 times. Moving on, 4 times. Then keep moving, 4 times. Move, 4 times. Move twice. Then move again, twice. Move 4 times. Move 2 times. Move 2 times. Move 4. Move 8. Here's that new fingering 4 times. And then move 8 times. Then middle note moves and 4 times. Start with first finger on B, right below middle C, and then reach up an octave, octave is 8 notes, to the B above with fifth finger, and then play that B again with third finger. Then you step up, fourth finger on C, back down to B. Repeat that, C, B, repeat that again, except this time you're going to second finger on B, and you're going to switch your finger to first finger. So we do fourth finger on C, then second on B, and switch over. And when you switch over like that, you want to make it like one guy is taken over while the other one goes away. And you want to make it look almost like you didn't mean to do that, like you're trying to hide it from people. So you don't want to be like, you know, big exaggerated motions. So we did fourth finger on C, second on B, switching to first. And we do that so that our hand will be in position for the next thing. Third finger goes over to B flat, second finger on A, fourth finger on B, third finger on A, repeat that, B, A, repeat it, B, A, and then repeat that A. Okay, I'm not going to really do the counting with you because the left hand plays in this piece almost exclusively eighth notes. So it's keeping a beat, and it's a matter of fitting the right hand with the left hand. And you don't have to count this. Hands together. Right hand goes first. And then together. Right hand holds. 5, 6. On the seventh one, right hand plays. Okay, then moving on. 1, 2. On the third one, right hand plays. Moving on. And then right hand. Together, switch to first finger. Now, together. Together. Left hand moves. 1, 2. On the third see that? 7, left, right, together. Okay? If you're not sure what I'm talking about, watch the performance video. You'll see how it fits together time-wise. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about pedaling. The goal with the pedaling is basically to keep it as clean as possible, meaning you don't want to blur the sounds together. I put down the pedal before I start. Then I change here. Change, 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 change. Now left hand was on D, F, and C. We're going to keep the bottom 2 notes the same, move the thumb down 1 note to B 4 times. Then the top finger stays where it is. The bottom 2 move down 1. So C, E, and B, 5, 3, 1. Twice. Then bottom 2 stay where they are, and the top note moves down 1. So C, E, and A. And you're going to do that 6 times. Now, the top finger stays where it is. The E had the 3rd finger on it. Now it's going to put 2nd finger, and then B, 5th finger, twice. Then bottom and top stay the same, and then 3rd finger goes to D sharp, twice. Now you go back, keep the top finger where it is, 4th finger on C, 2nd finger on E, 4 times. And then go back to what you had right before, B, D sharp, and A. I'm using 5, 2, 1 here, 4 times. And then back to your C, E, and A, 4 times. And then back to B, D sharp, A. Just 1 time, and then let it go. So right hand was on A. Now, 2nd finger will be G sharp. Thumb goes under to A. 3rd finger on B. 5th on D. 4th on C. 1st on E. 4th on A. And then 2nd on F sharp. Then 4th finger on A, 2nd on F sharp. Take that 4th finger, you're going to do a grace note. Remember, a grace note is a quick note that doesn't really get any counts, and it's not important, so you kind of play it lightly. So 4th finger is on B, it's going to be a grace note going to 3rd finger on A, like that. Because this is a somber piece, you don't want to play the grace note like, happy. It's a more hesitant grace note. Okay? Then 1st finger on G, 4th comes over to F sharp, 2nd on C, 1st on B, 2nd on D sharp, 3rd on F sharp, then 5th finger on D, 4th on C, and 3rd on B. So I'm going to play hands together starting with the last thing that we did in part 1. So we did this. Okay, now the right hand keeps holding, left hand moves, then together, left hand moves. Now All these are going to be together. Right hand hold. Together. Together. Hold the right hand. Now, pick up the right hand, preparing for that grace note. So you see the grace note comes before the hands play together. Now, together, lift up the left hand. Okay, so let's do that much with pedal. So we had pedal down, change, 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 change. If you don't want to change that much, change whenever you feel like you don't like the sound anymore. So when it gets too muddy, change there, and then change again. Change, 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 change. I change on every one of those notes because I really don't like the sound of I want this to be a very clean sounding. The left hand goes back to what we did in the beginning, 8 times. Then you move down. This is exactly like part 1. Now it changes. So now 2 notes will change. The middle note will stay the same. The top finger comes down to D sharp, and then the 5th finger moves down to F natural, and you play this 4 times. Now, the bottom and the top stay the same. The middle finger goes down to G sharp. Twice. Then the bottom 2 stay the same. The 1st finger moves down to D natural. Twice. Then the top 2 stay the same, and the bottom finger moves down to E 4 times. Okay, then bottom and top stay the same, middle finger goes down to G. Then bottom 2 stay the same, top finger goes down to C sharp. Now everybody moves. 5th finger on C sharp, 3rd on E, 1st on A sharp. Twice. Middle note stays the same. The other 2 guys move down to white keys. Twice. Now, big octave down here. B's, 5 and 1. Now we finally have something that's not a triad. Well, that was not a triad, but now we have a chord that's got 4 notes in it. No, there's no special name for a chord with 4 notes in it. Here we have A, 5th finger, C, 4th finger, F sharp, 2nd finger, and A, 1st finger. We play those together. It's very stretched out, as you can see, 3 times. Then move 5th finger to G, 3rd on B, 2nd on D sharp, 1st on F sharp. 1 time only. And then we're back to our triads. So you keep the bottom 2 the same, and then you just add an E on top with your thumb 3 times. Keep the top note the same, and then 2nd finger on C, 4th finger on A twice. Then just a low A by itself, 5th finger. Come up to middle C, 1st finger, 4th finger on F sharp, 5th finger on E. Just 1 time. And then low B, 5th finger, E, 2nd finger, 1st finger on B, twice. And then middle note stays the same. 4th finger on C, 1st finger on A, twice. and then go back to what you just played 4 times. We left the right hand, 3rd finger on B. We're actually going to play that note again. Same finger. Then up to 4th finger on C. Very similar to the beginning. Back to B. Back to C, 4th finger. Back to B, 3rd finger. And then one more time to C, 4th finger. This time when you come back to B, you're going to come to your 1st finger. Then 3rd finger comes over to A sharp. Play that A sharp again with 2nd finger. Now we're going to do a turn. So a turn is another ornament. I haven't talked about those before in my tutorials. You basically turn around the main note. So here's the main note. You go above it, back to it, below it, and then back to it. So the turn is this. So we start on A sharp, then we do our turn. B, 3rd finger, A sharp, 2nd finger, 1st finger on A, then 2nd finger on B, A sharp. It doesn't have like a specified rhythm. In this case, you know, because it's Chopin, you can be really, really free with it, and there's a lot of time. It's kind of a slower piece. We'll talk about that when we put the hands together. There's not one right way to play the rhythm of a turn. Then you reach up to G with your 5th finger, F sharp, 4th finger, and then E, 3rd finger. Play that E again, this time with 2nd finger. 1st on D sharp, 5th on C, back to your D sharp. You play that D sharp again, this time with 2nd finger. Then 3rd finger on E, 5th on G, 1st on B. I know there's a lot of notes happening here. So just back up and review whatever you need to review. 4th finger on D, 3rd on C, 5th on E, 1st on the octave below E, and then 4th finger on A, 2nd on F sharp, back to A, and then back to F sharp. So again, review this part as many times as you need to. Yes, there are a lot of notes happening, but if you repeat it several times, you'll understand how it's put together. Hands together on the very first note. Then the right hand holds while the left hand plays. 3, 4, 5, 6 on the 7th one together, just like in the beginning. Then move. Left hand moves. Then the right hand on the 3rd one. Move and play together. Left hand keeps going, right hand hangs on. 2 on the 3rd one, right hand plays. Now, here comes the part where you're very, very free, stretto, like stretch it out. Do whatever you want, basically, in terms of interpreting this. It's a very, romantic piece, romantic period in music history. Gives you a lot of freedom as an artist. So, now, hands together. Left hand, then right, then together. Now I'm going to show you the way that I'm choosing to play the turn in the right hand. So I play the left hand and then the right hand. Okay, so let me put that together from here. And then together. All right, you may choose to do it a different way. You could do this. So you can start the turn with the left hand instead of after. All right, either one's fine. And then you move and play together. Together, left, right. Now, together here. Together. These are all playing together. Now, in this case, the right hand's going to have 3 notes to fit with the left hand's 2. So the right hand has a triplet and the left hand just has regular 8th notes. The way you can fit it is like this. So you play together, right, left, right. Okay? It's almost like the hands are trying to catch up with each other, but they can't. So it's together, right, left, right. Okay? Practice that. All of my students who do, like 3 against 2, like what we're doing now, or 3 against 4, or whatever, at first they get cross-eyed. Like, I can't get this. And then you just keep practicing, and eventually they'll become experts at it. From here, hands together, right hand holds, then together, and then together again. So I'll play that much, and I'll tell you what I'm doing with the pedaling, and I'll keep it kind of in time, okay? So here we go. Hands together, and the pedals have been holding, so I'm going to change right when I play beat 1. Change, 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 change. Basically, whenever the chord changes, you change your pedal. Change, 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 change. Now hold, and that's the indication that Chopin gives in the music. So he really wants that low B flat to ring for a while. I'll do that one again. So you change here and you hold it. Even though the right hand is moving around a little bit, now change again and change. Hold, change, 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 change. So left hand was on B, E, and B, 5, 2, 1. We're going to keep that E where it is. 4th finger will go to C and 1st finger to A. You play this chord, this triad, 4 times. Then you go back to the chord right before this one and play it 4 times. Now, the bottom and the top stay the same. The middle note, 3rd finger, goes to D sharp. And you play this only 2 times. You keep the bottom 2 notes as they are. Move your thumb down to A. That's twice. And then, now we only have 2 notes. 5th finger on C, 1st finger on G, 4 times. Now keep your 5th finger on C, move your 1st finger to B flat, 2 times, and then back to our triad. So we have 5th finger still on C, 3rd on E, 1st on A. 2 times. Keep your 1st finger on A, 2nd finger takes over that E, and then 5th finger moves down to B. Twice. Keep the bottom 2 notes the same. Take your thumb down to G sharp. 2 times only. Again, keep the bottom 2 notes the same. Take your thumb down to G and play this 4 times. We're almost at the end. Keep your thumb on G. 2nd finger moves to C. 4th finger on A sharp. Then we're going to have an octave B. Play that B again. Add F sharp in the middle, 2nd finger. And then all the way down to the lowest E you can find on your piano with your 5th finger, and then 1st finger on the E above it. Right hand, you're going to do that grace note, B going to A. This time we're going to use 5th finger. I don't know why, that's just what I did on the recording of the performance. You can still do 4-3 like you did in the first time that we did this, but I did 5-3, so I'll just show you that. B, A, and then 2nd finger on F sharp. I picked up my 2nd finger and put it on E, and then play that E again, 3rd finger, F sharp, 4th finger, back to E, back to F sharp, back to E. Now we're going to play up 4 notes. Now my hand is small, so you can see I'm really stretching for it. When I stretch, I don't try to go above the keys. I actually let my hand rotate if it needs to. That is, for me, a much easier way to play. So 5th finger on E above middle C, 3rd on B, 2nd on F sharp, and then 1st on E. So play together. Now, 2nd finger stays on F sharp, 4th finger takes over that B, and then the 1st and 5th fingers move to D sharps. And then 1st finger on E, 2nd on G, 3rd on B, 5th on E. Left hand goes first, 2 times. Right hand goes. So notice the grace note comes in between the 2nd and 3rd left hand chords. Watch. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Then together. Right, and then right hand. So your left hand's playing. It does all of its chords. Then the right hand goes together. So then left hand keeps going. 3, 4. Then moves up. Together. 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 You know what? I might have played it wrong on the performance. I might have done this. So sorry about that. I don't know why I would have done that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and use 2 here. You can do 3. No, actually, let me change my mind. Sorry. A 3rd finger. I think what I did, I played a C sharp on the performance. So if you catch that, sorry. So here we go. And then you have a break. It's almost like Chopin is giving you time to think about what you've done. And then you play together. Play together. And then together. So it's like these final 3 chords are like, I don't know, almost like the final nail on the coffin. It's very somber and final. Okay, so let's talk about the pedaling. When left hand starts, you will have your pedal down, so you're going to change it. Change. 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 Lift and let there be silence. Then together very lightly. Change and change. as far as dynamics go on this piece, dynamics meaning like how loud or how soft you play or the timing of stuff, you can take a lot of liberties. So if I were gonna play this piece, like let's say 5 times in a row, I would not play it the same way every time. I might make certain changes. So where I might have played one note in the first performance, I might have really stressed that note. On the second one, I might actually back off on that note, kind of like a surprise. So, get the notes and then, play around with how you're playing them. Okay, so that's what makes the creative aspect of playing music really interesting, is that you can add your own interpretations to a certain extent. Sometimes, you know, sometimes a piece of music will have almost no indication on how loud to play. Then you really have to use your judgment. Other times, the composer or even the editor will tell you, oh, make this note loud or this one soft. And most of the time you want to obey that, but not always. You can, especially when a piece has been played, 18 million times, like this one. It's kind of nice to have a little bit of a fresh interpretation. I say that because I don't want you to think like the whole thing is quiet or there's loud parts. Do what you feel, and you can do it differently every time. That was Chopin's Prelude in E minor. I hope that you enjoyed it. Remember, it takes consistent effort and practice for this stuff to feel good. So even if you have limited time to practice, it's better to do about 10 minutes a day, if that's all you've got, than an hour once a week. Okay, keep practicing, have fun, and I will see you soon. Bye.